Alright, here we have Lupa. She's probably my favorite out of the two we got this patch. No hate to Cartathea, but I just really love our wolf girl. She's so cute. I didn't think I'd dig like a pink-haired character because I usually don't, but I do love her color scheme a bit too much. Having her from the front here, she doesn't really have that much going on the surface. Due to her having to be very agile, she doesn't have much of like the usual puffiness of a dress or just generally much that like air could catch on. She even rids her armor and her cape, so technically, she isn't more than a bodysuit, at least on the surface. Like I mentioned, you have a very cute pink hair with little pigtails that actually separate into two. She has her cape as I've mentioned, nothing really on the arms, and then her bodysuit with a little armor and separate little silver pieces. Looking at the side, the back is a lot heavier than the front, and I'm not talking about her big ring. I'm talking about the tail she has back there. Now, I do have both versions. I have the flame version, though I won't show it here because it's literally just an orange variant of this. I'd rather show you something else later, which you will see soon. She does have her tacet mark on the side here, and a lot of like open space. Aside from that, there's not really that much. She has like a little wrist brace and just her white bodysuit and very, very thin heels. Looking at her from the back, you can see her pigtails are actually lopsided. She doesn't really have much more hair on either side, but the part in the middle isn't quite straight. Aside from that, she has a very open back, which we'll look at closer later without the cape. She has the cape I mentioned, which has a gradient, her tail, and the heels again, which do look a little bit bigger from the back, but I don't think they have that much more surface area. The last side isn't that much different, aside from a couple rings on her fingers and this side being closed. Starting from the top, unfortunately I can't show you her ears. I do have the little lighters she has on her head that will hold them, but I can't actually make that effect here in Blender. I did think at first when we saw her that these things would kind of like fold up to make the ears, but instead it's so much more cooler with flames added. In addition to these spiky things, she also has a headband here, and I heard these two things do make people compare Lupa to Vera from PGR, which is KuroGames' other game. I know she has like a headband in one variation, though that one's made out of fabric, I believe, and not metal, but her other variation does have these like horn things. I think it's just the silhouette that kind of makes it, alongside these bangs and the little side parts under them. Talking about under her bangs, she has really big earrings. Oh shit, that's kind of creepy. Looking at them closer, they are the very same wolves she has on her breastplate. Looking at her face, it is quite squished together. I didn't really expect this, though it does make sense with the bangs. Her lips are a slight rose tint, and she wears slight makeup. I think it's really cute and does add to her character and does kind of fit for her to have sparkles under her eye and in the inner corner of the eye. Talking about the eye, they did pay a lot of attention to it this time, and what I will show you later will add to it as well. Her iris is very detailed with a spiky ring around this lovely shade of green, which, funnily enough, Fleur-de-Lis also has. Aside from that, her pupil is black ? But also has a red center. Her eyelashes are very spiky and also very detailed this time. I really like the pigtails she has, and it does fit very well to her flames, but in comparison to some other characters, she actually has hairbands. I am slightly annoyed every time they try to use like metal rings on hair because I know it won't hold, but whatever. But these little bows are actually so cute. As I've mentioned before, the pigtail is split into two parts, one being shorter than the other, and the darker pink does fade into a lighter pink, almost white color. Kind of do resembling flames if you ask me. Before we move on from her face, let's look at her face mesh a bit. Oh right! She has fangs! I totally forgot about that. Okay, this is a bit of a creepy smile, but she has fangs. And even more spiky teeth at the back. Okay, I do like that they added more of these spiky teeth, kind of like a wolf, rather than just adding the front fangs that a lot of games like to do, which would have made her look more like a cat if anything. Let me quickly go through these kind of to see if she has anything special. Okay, here's the pre-made ones. Oh, she does! Okay, they gave her like a creepy smile on one of them. Okay, her big kind of slanted one, okay. A normal smile, a kind of like pouty thing, maybe? Okay. Lip pursing, the side smile she has. Very big smile, okay. That's cute, okay. More creepy smiles. Annoyed or tired? Oh. Okay, she does kind of have a lot. Usually they don't put anything in here, or at least not that many. I guess they finally started to use presets. Oh Jesus Christ. Whoever made I don't know who made these, but sure. They did make a lot for Lupa, which I kind of really like because Lupa is very expressionate and it would take them longer to like hand set them every time, so I do like it. Moving further down, we do have her neck area, which I personally really like. It does look like she has like a bear trap or a wolf's maw around her neck. I really like this detail, but I kind of wish it would have been like a mask or something instead, or more stuff on her head. But in and of itself, it is really cool. Aside from that, the halter neck really isn't much to talk about. It is just the usual like high neck cutout with being a halter for the rest of the bodysuit. Aside from that, she has a ring here and an oddly off-color blue tag that has a star on it. Removing her cape and going down on one arm, she doesn't really have much on them. She has the same brace on both arms, so I won't really remove her body for this one, but it is very detailed. Okay, we have the tech holes again, amazing. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I first thought it was like a goat kind of thing, or like a sickle maybe, but I'm not sure. Like I mentioned, we have the tech holes, so she can breathe through the armor, I don't know. But that's pretty much it for this arm and also kind of for the other one. Aside from that, her nails are very pretty again, being a kind of burgundy kind of red, matching to her tail color. Yeah, the underside really doesn't have anything. Okay. Moving on to the other arm, she doesn't have much different here. The only thing singling out is like this upper arm brace she has, with another wolf on it, much like her sigils, which does go all the way around and has little scratches on the edge, as well as weirdly stretched tech holes. Let's just ignore those. Aside from that, the brace is the same, but she does have rings without any special design on her ring finger and pinky. Leaving the cloak off for now and moving further down, she does have a strap here that is supposed to hold onto the cloak with another little clasp and stuff written on it. Aside from that, we have her armor, which is very shiny, at least in this shader, and as far as I know in the game as well. She has a similar pattern to her arm braces on it, which do look more like flames though compared to the brace. In the middle she has a cutout with a coin-shaped sigil on it with more writing. I'm not sure if it says anywhere where she got this outfit, cause that would explain why there's so many little coin-shaped things with writing on it, especially the very same writing. Like it would say something like Flames of Aegon or Lupa and her title or something. Aside from the front having more tech holes in the armor for some reason, and also being very jiggly in game. This thing does go around all the way to the back and assumably clasps onto the bodysuit here. On the side is a tacet mark, as well as where the bodysuit splits, being connected via a ring all the way to the back to these strings. From the cloak to these strings, everything is attached to this little wolf at the back, which has another ring on it, which kind of makes me question if this is to go on a walk with her or some shit. I don't... It kind of does look like that. I even noted it on Twitter. Okay. I don't know why the wolf needs a nose ring, but whatever. Aside from all the strings, she does have a lot of scars on her back. I really, really like this decision to give characters that I usually like, oh no, we can't have our pristine waifu have any battle scars or damage on her face or back or body or anywhere else. Giving a warrior scars is just a very realistic idea. I'm usually pissed off with those like ultra clean warrior waifus with no signs of having ever fought in a battle ever. Now, one thing I do have to note is that she does move around a lot, and these strings, aside from being connected up here, have some kind of bow here, so if you just pull that, it well, it doesn't all come apart because it still has a halter, but you know, the very string goes all the way down, connected to the lower part of her bodysuit as well, going under it and kind of disappearing there. I don't really know where this leads, like if it goes like in between here maybe and then goes back up. It is a mystery. Removing her armor, there isn't much else under it. There's just more black parts that do match up with this hole in the center, and this goes down to her stomach, also belly area, I assume? Abs? Abs? Abs. Please. With again, the same writing. Aside from the bodysuit, she does have her tail. I'll add the armor back for this one, because aside from the tail being a lighter brown to a red kind of gradient, with little stripes in it much like her hair, it does again have the wolf emblem, strapped to the top of it with these leather straps. One more thing about the breastplate is that there is a random belt here for some reason. Why would you need that? Like, where does it go? Does it go under the armor? No. No, it doesn't. What? Okay, sure. I mean, whatever you say, KuroGames. Whatever you say goes. Adding back the cloak, it does add a lot to her silhouette. The cloak is strapped to her body in multiple areas, but is also easy enough to take off. One of the parts is literally just stuck under her armor, so that when she has to rip it off quick, she can just take this side and drag it over her arm. This sachet-like part does have two emblems on it, though one being different from the usual. They do have the same writing, but this is the wolf we usually see, and this is a different one. I do imagine that these are sigils from the fights she's won, and she just displays them on here. This sachet goes back around and swoop over to here, where if we look at the front, she only has a little loose kind of woven band holding it to her arm. So like I mentioned, if she has to take it off quick, she can just drag it out of here and drag this down her arm. Aside from how she draped it, there's more little silver rings, stuff bunching up the clothing, braided metal going down to the back, as well as golden detailing at the ends of it. This side is braided gold, while this side has leaves. Aside from that, it is a very deep red color, which does fade into a brown kind of off-white color. Lastly, this has the very same wolf symbol on it, which we've seen on the sigils. Moving further down, she has the same kind of off-color blue tag here, as well as blood circulation issues. Removing the cape again, I am one for a good thigh pudge, but holy shit. Thigh, squish my head or whatever, but well, this one is more of a belt kind of strap with a functioning, or well, kind of, it doesn't have any holes, but I'll let it slide. The other two are literally just metal rings with clasped with the very same coin we've seen before, holding it together. This goes down and has strings attached to properly hold the boots up when she runs, so I guess it does make sense why it's so tight, because if she moves around that much, you don't want your shoes slipping, but holy shit, her poor thighs. Like, I don't want to know the dents she has in her legs when she takes this off. One more last thing I'd like to mention about the backside. Compared to Danzin, she doesn't have an ass crack. I'm so sorry. I am not sorry in the slightest. Moving down to her boots, they are zipped up, kind of. She has like a bronze plate under them, which just appears under the zipper. I mean, I guess if you zip this down, it'll be easier to take off, but it doesn't go down the whole side of her boot like boots usually do. Aside from that, more of the same writing, more holes or marks or something. I don't know. Random little metal rings with more tech holes. Jesus Christ, Kuro was really missing the tech holes on this one. I mean, I suppose they kind of act as a filler here almost, since when she takes off her armor, there really isn't that much left, but she actually has a backside to this boot, though it is pretty much of the same with more of a bronze plating under this, and buttons holding the back together. So moving down to the very ends of her boots, she has crinkling here, which I really like, since this is kind of how boots would work. No matter how tight they are, they would still crinkle and fold where they move the most. There isn't much of a design to them though, at least on the top side, aside from like a metal stripe thing. The side of the boot does have more in comparison, being more of those mystical patterns, though this time it doesn't look like flames to me, and more like waves almost. The back resembles the lighters she has on her head, as well as the underside being red like her cloak. Again, we have the very same writing, and another tech hole. Now that we have one form done, this is what I wanted to show you. They gave the hurt files for Lupa in this model too, so let's quickly go over it. The hair doesn't really have much aside from a bit of soot on it. The bows have a little crinkle, not really a rip. The face probably is the most interesting, with dirt or wounds on it, as well as her eyes being a completely different color and a different iris. She still has the same spiky ring, though it's a lot darker. The shading to it is darker too, and the iris isn't just the black with red inside anymore, but it has multiple layers to it, with red dots on the side, more spikiness, and a diamond-like sharp iris in the center. I've seen people say that she looks more feral this way, and I kind of agree. Aside from that, she has more damage to the metal, a really big rip at the top here. Though there's little scratches, her armor actually has some very deep rips. Aside from that, the lower part did suffer the most, I want to say. There was a very big gash on her upper thigh, a lot of soot and dirt all the way down, and the lower part of her boots being absolutely torn up. Aside from that, the lower part just has more dirt and soot, and the underside is also very dirty. Lupa will probably be one of my favorites for this patch and the future two patches, because while I like Prorova, Lupa's for my team. Lupa does synergize with my brand and my Changli, so she's already good in that book, and I do like the story that mentions her a lot. Right now, I don't really want Augusta or Yuno, though that might change in the future. Lupa definitely has some of my favorite interactions so far, and the story about her is very, very interesting. I haven't played her character story yet, which I think came out this patch, so I will definitely do it in a stream soon, but that was it for Lupa's dissection. I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day. Bye bye.